I want to talk about offensive terminology for a minute. I want to talk about it because Kendrick Lamar just dropped a new album, and apparently on one of the tracks he drops an offensive slur for indigenous Americans. And people, for some reason, keep defending him, keep defending the use of offensive terminology. Now, here's the thing. I've mentioned this before, but it's been a long while, and there's a lot of new people following me. I am punk. Punk is a subculture, it is part of my culture. I have been punk most of my life. Most people who are not punk don't really know very much about punk culture. When people use punk as an insult to mean cowardly or whatever, it irritates me. It does not irritate me to the point that I find it offensive enough to tell people to stop using it, but to me, it irritates me. I am not going to speak for all punks. It irritates me, but it does not offend me because I understand that a majority of people in my society do not have the education enough about punk culture to understand why using it as an insult is problematic. I understand that they cannot differentiate between punks and posers. That is something we have had to deal with since the very fucking beginning. If people knew about punk culture, they would understand that using punk as an insult to mean cowardly is very idiotic. Most punks, in fact, I have personally never met a single punk that has ever been cowardly. Even teenage punks who are actually punks are braver than a majority of adults that I know. Posers, on the other hand, they like the aesthetic, but they don't know jack shit about punk culture, and they are fucking cowards. All of that being said, when a substantial amount of people in any culture or subculture, including race or ethnicity, come out and say that using specific terminology is offensive, stop using it. It goes beyond irritation. It is coming from a place of understanding that society does have the level of education to understand why using that terminology is problematic and offensive. And we all fuck up. Every single one of us. There isn't a single perfect human on this planet. When we fuck up, we can either accept accountability and move on, or we can avoid accountability and make things worse. Accidentally using offensive terminology is a very minor fuck up. You can acknowledge that it happened, educate yourself on why it's offensive, agree to stop using it, and move the fuck on. I do not yet know how Kendrick Lamar has responded to or is going to respond to the indigenous Americans saying this is offensive, but I have already been seeing a substantial amount of his fans defending him using this terminology and has doubled down in using it themselves. Or at least I'm assuming they are his fans because they are defending him. Just seeing a lot of this debate that really shouldn't even be a fucking debate. Anyways, those are just my thoughts on people jumping on this grotesque bandwagon of using offensive terminology lately. Whether it be for the Palestinians, the Lebanese, or the indigenous Americans. It's fucking gross. Anyways, we're not free until we're all free. And from the river to the sea. Peace.